Perhaps this was through pure luck, but my adventures with the Samsung EO IA500 have clearly demonstrated to me that the entire IEM industry is a complete scam, and one of the key reasons for this is high passive isolation found in many IEMs. Take, for example, the moondrop variations. When you insert this into your ear canal, your ear is completely blocked off from the outside world, and all you really have is this tiny pressure relief vent, and you hear your voice and other internal sounds amplified because I guess sound is not able to escape the ear canal like it normally should. And you have IEMs like the EPZ P50, which are semi-open back, and this does reduce the occlusion effect you get from regular IEMs. With EPZ P50 in my left ear and the moondrop variations in the right, and I make some low frequency noise like I'm getting more, I guess, feedback from the side with the moondrop variations, and as I'm speaking I can hear the low notes of my voice more clearly in the variations than through the EPZ P50. And it's weird because if I cover this vent, the isolation is improved, but somehow the occlusion effect gets better by covering this vent. It's just weird. I don't know. Yeah, so we have that. Then we compare it to something like the Samsung earbud with the channel swap, and it's like I'm not even wearing anything almost. Like, I make these low frequency noises and it's reverberating much more on this on the EPZ P50 side because it's covering my ear canal. And if I block off this vent, it's actually pretty similar, which is interesting. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's because my finger is probably absorbing some of the vibrations. Maybe that makes sense, but yeah, I mean, just wearing it like this, the occlusion effect is clearly much worse in the EPZ P50. And, you know, another one of the things I realized with these is Samsung didn't even really seem to understand the potential these have, because if you insert them in the normal orientation, which is like the right earphone going in the right ear, your ear actually becomes blocked off. Like now the occlusion effect is pretty bad and I'm getting like decent isolation. And the reason for this is just the shape of the earphone. Yeah, I mean, you can see most earphones are designed like this, where you have the tip pointing downwards and then this outer shell is supposed to contort to your ear. And yeah, it's like blocking off outside sounds and making my voice sound muffled internally. But I guess the genius of flipping them the opposite direction is that you get the opposite effect, where the tip is essentially like being angled upwards and the shell is facing the opposite direction of your ear canal. So I put them in like this and my ear is barely being blocked off at all. There's just a contact point there. The only thing really filling in my ear is the ear tip, and I guess the only way to go forward from here would be having this IEM be fully open back, which brings into question what is the point of using IEMs in the first place. But you know, people at Meta Reality Labs and Apple Acoustics already know this, and it's a known prerequisite for spatial audio rendering that you want to have no occlusion effect, and cancellation and transparency modes eliminate the occlusion effect. But I really wonder how that can compare to the physical differences of inserting an IEM the opposite way it's supposed to be inserted, and not having the shell fill up your ear canal at all, really, or your ear, whatever, at all, really. And it just feels like you have these perfect transducers floating in your ear canal, and like sound just appears naturally, like it's floating through space. The soundstage is incredible, and it's really like kind of disillusioning almost, because you're wondering, like, is there gonna be any crazy bass, because it doesn't even feel like I have anything. Then you hear the bass and it's like, what, how is this even possible? And like, regardless of what regular IEM I use, like, the occlusion effect is clearly an issue, and I feel more blocked off physiologically, and I'm not, like, I can literally feel like sounds are coming from outside my ear with these Samsung earbuds because of how unoccluded I feel. Versus with any of these other earphones, like, yeah, sure, this EPZ P50 semi-open back is better in that regard than the Moondrop variations, but it's still not nearly as good as the Samsung earbuds with the channels swapped and, you know, just inserted like this. And obviously Samsung didn't realize this because it's designed like a regular earphone. I just somehow made this realization by luck or something. But yeah, I mean, the whole IEM scene is completely backwards. Maybe for isolation, yeah, you can have it be designed to fill the shape of your ear canal, but this clearly damages sound quality. You don't want the ear to be occluded. And interesting to see how the industry moves forward, but really the ideal solution is to just have the tip in your ear and the IEM itself be super lightweight and floating like there's nothing there. And this will result in the highest perceived sound quality. So all of these IEMs, I mean, whatever they are, like, this design that fills up your ear canal increases isolation, but it's just far worse for perceived sound quality.